So this is Senora Sanchez, and today we're going to be going over your Unit 3 skit. Your Unit 3 skit is within the unit, what do you like to do? So within this unit, we're going to be talking a lot about of activities that you like to do, with whom do you like to do the activities, and when you like to do the activities and so forth. This skit is here to help you respond to daily questions that you will see in the classroom, as well as it is going to be used for your speaking grade. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each part of the skit, and we're going to talk about the different ways that you can fill in your skit, how to say the words properly so you can practice your skit in order to prepare for your speaking grade, as well as we're going to see from Go Animate an example of how this skit could possibly run. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to talk about each section and how you can fill that in. So if we look at the first one, number one is going to be your greeting. You notice that there's going to be two spots, so you do need to try to have two different kinds of greetings. And of course, in Unit 1, we had talked about different greetings. So one of the greetings that you could have is hello, which is hola. You could also have good morning or good day, and also good afternoon. In order to say good morning, you could say buenos dias. Or to say good afternoon, you could say buenas tardes. So that's really simple. You just choose what kind of greeting that you would like to say. On number two, it says, ask, what do you like to do? And in order to say, what do you like to do in Spanish, we have to say, ¿Qué te gusta hacer? And you notice that hacer is silent because the H's in Spanish are, of course, silent. So I want you to repeat after me. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Repeat again. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Okay, so then we're going to have to respond. And you're going to say, I like to, and you're going to give me a verb. So remember that your verbs are action words. And if we go back to your Unit 3 notes, you can use those to help you fill this in. So here we have your Unit 3 notes. And I had given you this with your skit in order to help you fill your skit in. And so if we pay attention to numbers 39 on the 30s, more like 37 where it starts to swim. Throughout, there's a variety of activities that you can say that you like to do. If there's something that you would like to add onto your skit, remember that you can go to www.wordreference.com to help you find a different verb that you would like to use, or you can come and ask me and I can help you find some. But I would prefer you to use the verbs that are within your Unit 3 vocab. So remember that you can use these different verbs to help you fill in your chart or your skit. Now, of course, we are back to our skit, and I'm going to fill in some of these with things that I think that would be good to put in there. But I want you to try to use some of your own things that you find on the Unit 3 skit. But I am going to give some examples. So for number 2, I would like to say that I like to sleep and read. And so if I look at my Unit 3 notes, in order to say sleep, I'm going to use the word dormir. And it's spelled D-O-R-M-I-R. And then I'm going to put and read, leer. Leer is spelled L-E-E-R. So when I type this in, or write this in, I'm going to say, me gusta dormir y leer. I like to read and sleep. So go ahead and take a minute and pause the video and go ahead and fill in some things that you would like to do. Do not forget to add what you like to do in English, so that way you know what you're writing in Spanish and English, so you can compare the two when you go back. Next, we're going to go to number 3. It says, what do you like to do more, blank or blank? And again, we're going to choose two different verbs. So you have to do is look at your Unit 3 vocab. You do not have to use the same things from number two, but you can. So in order to say what do you like to do more, you're going to say ¿Qué te gusta más? You're going to give me a verb, and you're going to say oh, and then you're going to give me another verb. So for example, I'm going to ask, what do you like to do more? To travel or to clean your house? So I would say, ¿Qué te gusta más? Viajar o limpiar la casa? Okay, so repeat after me. What do you like to do more? ¿Qué te gusta más? Repeat again. ¿Qué te gusta más? And again, I use to travel or to clean your house or to clean the house. Viajar o limpiar la casa. And again, you can choose any ones that you would like to use. So go ahead and pause the video and find two verbs that you would like to put into your skit. In order to respond, you're going to say, I like to, whatever you want, you got to pick one of the verbs, and then more. So for example, I'm going to choose to travel. So I would say, me gusta viajar más. I like to travel more. So go ahead and pause the video and write down which one you would like to do more. Number 4, it says, with whom do you like to? And you're going to give me a verb. And again, you can pick any kind of verb that you would like. I'm just going to continue with the verbs that I used before in the previous question. You don't have to. You can pick another verb. So I'm going to say, with whom do you like to travel? Because we had said that we like to travel. And so I'm going to continue with that one. And so I'm going to say, ¿Con quién te gusta viajar? Repeat after me. ¿Con quién te gusta? You can go ahead and pause the video and try to find a verb. Then in order to respond, I'm going to say that I like to travel with my family. Okay? So I would say, me gusta viajar con mi familia. I like to travel with my family. Instead of saying family or friends, you can also add a name. You notice right here how it says name. All right, so either one of those would be perfectly fine. So you can go ahead and pause the video again and then come back when you need to in order to go to number 5. Number 5, we're going to say, when do you like to? And we're going to pick a verb. I'm just going to continue with travel because I'm just going to make it all connect. You don't have to do that again. You can go to, pick different verbs that you'd like to from Unit 3. So I'm going to say, when do you like to travel? And I'm going to say, ¿Cuándo te gusta viajar? So repeat after me. ¿Cuándo te gusta? Then we're going to respond. And I'm going to say, I like to travel in the summer. I'm going to be a little bit more specific. And I'm going to say that I like to travel to Mexico in the summer because I do travel with my family to Mexico to visit other family there. And I'm going to say, me gusta viajar a Mexico en el verano. You can also use other things like your frequencies. I believe that it is on number 29. So we see right here number 29, we see some frequencies. We see sometimes, never, a lot, every day, rarely, and often. And so those are said a veces, nunca, mucho, cada día, en raras ocasiones, and a menudo. And you can use those to help fill those in about how often. You could also say in what particular season that you like to do that activity. You can even use the day of the week. So try to fill that in the best of your ability. If there's any questions about that, you can always come to me and talk to me about that. Um, but the key is to try to be simple with your responses. And as long as you're grammatically correct and you pronounce the words correct, then you will be fine when you do your speaking standard. Number 6, it says, what does he, she, name like to do? And then it says to point to someone. So this one I know is confusing for some students because you have to pick one of those. You do not want to say, what does he, she, name like to do and point to someone. You want to pick someone before you do that. So for example, I would say, what does Jessica like to do? Or what does she like to do? And that's when I would point to someone in the room. So while you're doing your skit, you could say, what does she like to do? And you could point to someone in the room, and then the person would have to respond to what that person likes to do. Now, you might not, talk to that person, you might not be friends with that person. You can make up what that person likes to do as long as you pronounce it correctly and it's grammatically correct, then it will be okay. Or you could say, what does he like to do? And you could point to a boy in the room. You could say, what does Nicki Minaj like to do? We know she likes to sing and dance because she is, artist, a performer, a singer, and she does those things. So she must like doing them. Um, so you would only need to point to someone as when you're saying he or she. If you're using a name, you really do not have to point to someone, but make sure you only pick one. I know a lot of students, they come up and they'll say, what does he, she, name like to do in Spanish? And you just need to make sure you pick one of those. So, for example, how you would say that is ¿Qué le gusta hacer a él? Or you could say ¿Qué le gusta hacer a ella? Or ¿Qué le gusta hacer a Nicki Minaj? So either one is appropriate. You just need to decide which one you want to choose. Okay? Then, in order to respond to that one, I would respond with either, he, which is L, she, which is Aya, or say their name and then say what they like to do. So, for example, I could say, Nicki Minaj likes to sing. And if we look on our notes, to sing is cantar. So I would say, Nicki Minaj le gusta cantar. And it's as simple as that. Pause the video if you need time to fill that in. I find it best usually to circle one of these that you would like to choose so you can practice it that way in class. For number 7, you're going to say, what do you prefer to do? And we have blank or blank. And you're going to pick 2 verbs and put those in those spaces. And so, for example, I would say, what do you prefer to do? Travel to Mexico with your family or to pass times with your friends. It doesn't have to be as complicated as the ones that I used. You can pick one as simple as what do you prefer to do, to draw, or to cook. So I'm going to give you both examples. So the first off, in order to ask that, we have to say, ¿Qué prefieres hacer? So remember again, the H is silent. And I'm going to use the one that I used before. So to travel to Mexico with your family or to pass times with your friends. So I'm going to say, ¿Qué prefieres hacer? Viajar a México con tu familia o pasar tiempo con tus amigos. Or again, we can use a different example. We could say, what do you prefer to do? To draw or to cook. And I would say, ¿Qué prefieres hacer? Dibujar o cocinar? And then they would respond with, I prefer to, and give an option. So personally, I would prefer to spend time with my family in Mexico. So I would say, yo prefiero pasar tiempo con mi familia, to pass time with my family. Or I could say I prefer to travel to Mexico with my family. And I would say, yo prefiero viajar a Mexico con mi familia. If I use one of the other examples, what do you prefer to do? To draw or to cook? I could say, yo prefiero dibujar. I prefer to draw. Pause the video if you need some time. Number 8 is a goodbye. For your goodbye, you can say adios, goodbye, ciao, which is another way of saying goodbye. Um, you could say see you later, hasta luego, see you tomorrow, hasta mañana. There are a variety of different things that you can use to say goodbye. Now I'm just going to go through one more time on just how to say or ask and how to now I'm just going to go over again how to ask and answer the questions, to how to pronounce the different words. So if you want to go ahead and go through those with me, I'm going to repeat each one twice, and then it'll give you some time to repeat after me in order to practice. So we're going to start at number 2. In order to ask, we're going to say, ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Repeat after me. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? In order to respond, we're going to say, me gusta. Repeat, me gusta. Number 3, we're going to ask, what do you like to do more? So we're going to say, ¿Qué te gusta más? Then you're going to respond, me gusta más. So repeat, ¿Qué te gusta más? Me gusta más. Number 4, with whom do you like to? ¿Con quién te gusta? Repeat, ¿Con quién te gusta? Then we're going to respond, me gusta con. Me gusta con. Number 5. Number 5 says, when do you like to? We're going to say, ¿Cuándo te gusta? Repeat, ¿Cuándo te gusta? Then we're going to respond, me gusta. Number 6. Now I'm going to say how to ask it 3 different times because I'm going to say he, I'm going to say she, and I'm going to pick a name. So the first one, ¿Qué le gusta hacer a él? Repeat, ¿Qué le gusta hacer a él? Now we're going to have the one for she. ¿Qué le gusta hacer a ella? Repeat, ¿Qué le gusta hacer a ella? For the next one, for the name, I'm just going to stick with Nicki Minaj. And I'm going to say, ¿Qué le gusta hacer a Nicki Minaj? ¿Qué le gusta hacer a Nicki Minaj? Then I'm going to respond, and I could either say él, ella, or Nicki Minaj, or whatever name that I chose. Then I'm going to say le gusta. So I'm going to repeat that 3 different times. Él le gusta. Ella le gusta. Nicki Minaj le gusta. Then the last one on number 7, it says, what do you prefer to do? So you would say that, ¿Qué prefieres hacer? Repeat, ¿Qué prefieres hacer? Then in order to respond, you would say, yo prefiero. Repeat. Yo prefiero. Now that we've had an example on how to go over our skit, how to fill in our skit, and how to say the skit, I'm going to give you a simulated skit done through Go Animate. And you're going to be able to hear the skit through Go Animate with some animated characters. So here is my Go Animate video. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and this is just going to be an example of how your skit could go.
Hola. Buenos días. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Me gusta dormir y leer. ¿Qué te gusta más, viajar o limpiar la casa? Me gusta viajar más. ¿Con quién te gusta viajar? Me gusta viajar con mi familia y con mis amigos a México. ¿Cuándo te gusta viajar a México? Me gusta viajar a México en el verano. ¿Qué le gusta hacer a tu familia en México? Mi familia le gusta jugar fútbol. ¿Qué prefieres hacer, viajar a México con tu familia o pasar tiempo con tus amigos? Yo prefiero viajar a México con mi familia. Adiós. Hasta mañana.
I hope that you enjoy the stimulation through Go Animate. So again, this is your skit. Please make sure that you are studying your skit every day. You will need to learn the sentences that you need in order to respond. Because when you go up to perform your skit for a grade, whoever your partner is might not ask you the questions that are on your skit. So for example, if I'm reading my skit and I said, and I had written, would you like to do more, draw or clean? So, ¿qué te gusta más, dibujar o limpiar? But my partner had asked me, would you like to do more, cook or drive? I would have to be able to pay attention to answer their question as into whether I like to drive or whatever they had asked me. This skit, you are allowed to use that during this paper. You're allowed to use that during your skit, but you need to make sure that you're paying attention to what your partner is asking you. So if there are any more questions, please feel free to talk to me about it during class. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll be practicing this soon in class.